and welcome. In this video we're going to be talking about boxer engines. Now what you just heard was a FA20 engine out of a 2018 Subaru WRX. What we have in front of us here is an EJ20 3D printed engine from a previous generation Subaru WRX. Both of them 2-liter boxer 4-cylinder engines. Pretty cool what we've got going on here. 3D printed, all of the parts actually move as they would function. You've got this intake manifold on top here, which you can remove, and then you can remove this portion of the engine block and see inside. So first let's talk about what is a boxer engine. And it's a flat engine, which means that the pistons lay flat, but what makes it distinct from other flat engines is that the pistons move in and out together. So they actually have different crank pins for each piston. Now if there was a single crank pin that both of these pistons shared, that would be a 180-degree V-type engine. So just a flat engine still, but both of these cranks would be basically connected, and so your two pistons would move back and forth like this, rather than out and in, as this works right here. Now, running through the different components here, you can see the pistons in gold. Those are connected to, of course, the connecting rods, which are in gray. That is then rotating this crankshaft, which we have in yellow, which will ultimately be sending power to the transmission through the flywheel, which we have here in dark gray. Now you can see the intake valves there opening, they're in blue, and then the exhaust valves opening down there, those are red. On the front here, we have the timing for the camshaft. So you've got the crank here with the timing, and you've got a timing belt here, which is connected to these. And then you can take off this valve cover here and see in blue we have our intake cam, and then in the exhaust cam here in red. Okay, so now observing the 4 strokes on this engine, you've got intake, compression, power, then the exhaust valves open, intake, compression, power, exhaust valves open. You can see that on both sides here. So intake, compression, power, exhaust. Now as far as firing interval and firing order, it's going to fire 1 cylinder for every 180-degree rotation of the crankshaft. And so you've got cylinders 1, 2, 3, and 4. And your firing order is going to be 1, 3, 2, 4. So left side first, then the right side. And so looking in here, intake, compression, power, 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 kaboom. Kaboom is the technical term. Okay, so now a little bit of inception. We've got a Subaru Crosstrek on top of a Subaru Crosstrek, both in hyper blue with the FB20 2-liter 4-cylinder boxer engine. Moving across, we have the EJ20 old generation WRX engine on top of the brand new 2018 FA20 WRX. Was there any purpose in doing this? Not really, no, but it looks cool. And finally, we're going to have a little bit more fun just matching the sound while I'm driving the new WRX and match the sound to the revs of this engine. Kind of looks cool to see it and hear it in combination. Of course, the revs we're looking at are much, much slower than what's actually going on in the engine, but neat to see nonetheless. And a huge thank you to Eric Harrell, who sent me these 3D printed models to use in the videos. They're absolutely incredible, and he actually has, I'll include some links in the video description, but he has all of the files available for you to download. If you own a 3D printer, he did all of this with a pretty cheap, $200 Chinese 3D printer, and so, pretty much any 3D printer out there is capable of doing this. He wanted to make it really accessible for anyone to get into. So I'll include the links in the video description. You can check that out, possibly download the files, and maybe build one of these on your own. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Thanks for watching.